Good evening. Namaste. This is Dr. Aparna. I am an Ayurvedic neuropsychotherapist, a passionate Ayurveda psychotherapy, neuroscience, and Bhagavad-Gita infopreneur, and I have voiced my pursuit as Global Neuro Mind Veda. So, in the previous session, we were discussing about Ayurveda and Ayurveda's influence on epigenetics. So, for those who have missed the session, see, epigenetics is the study of heritable changes in the gene expression, so that do not involve alterations to the underlying DNA sequence. So, these changes can be influenced by various factors, including environmental exposures, lifestyle choices, and even stress. So, this we had discussed in the last session. So, when we talk of epigenetics, see, epigenetics essentially adds a layer of control on top of our DNA. So, determining which genes are turned on or off. That means, see, epigenetics provides a fascinating explanation for how our environment and lifestyle can shape our health and development. So, while our DNA sequence is fixed, our epigenome is dynamic. So, it can be influenced by various factors throughout our lives. So, epigenome can, influence the gene expression. That is the gene expression. So, understanding epigenetics can help us develop strategies for preventing and treating diseases as well as optimizing our health and well being. See, epigenetics has the potential to help with a wide range of diseases, including cancer, neurological disorders, neuro degenerative disorders, neurodevelopmental disorders. So, neurodegenerative disorders could be like Alzheimer's, and neurodevelopmental disorders like autism, and psychotic disorders as well, schizophrenia, and neurological disorders like Parkinson's, etc. And then it can also help in mental health disorders, that is depression, anxiety, stress, clinical stress. So, and then age related disorders. Next is the metabolic disorders, that is diabetes, obesity, polycystic ovarian syndrome, all of those. So, next is autoimmune disorders like rheumatoid arthritis or lupus. So, how epigenetics can help? So, before discussing Ayurveda and epigenetics, we also have to know how does this help. So in some cases, epigenetics, can help by reactivating, the silenced genes, modulating the gene expression. So identifying individuals at risk for disease, monitoring the effectiveness of the treatment. Next is developing new therapies. So how do we benefit if we know, epigenetics? So if we can modulate see, as I said, it can be useful both in disease prevention and treatment. So by understanding the role of epigenetics in disease development, we can identify individuals at risk and develop targeted, prevention strategies. So epigenetic therapies such as drugs that target epigenetic modifications have the potential to treat a wide range of diseases. Next is personalized medicine. So epigenetic profiling, what it does is it can help, tailor the treatment. That means modify the treatment plans to individual patients. That is, we can customize the treatments. So what it does is this maximizes the efficacy and minimizes the side effects. Next is aging research. So, studying epigenetics changes associated with aging can provide insights into the aging process and potential interventions to slow it down. So, in the last, session, we had also discussed about Ayurveda. where Ayurveda, the key roles of Ayurveda, where it influences the epigenetics, is one is, lifestyle. Second is the diet. We discussed about daily routine. We discussed about seasonal routine. We discussed about diet. We discussed about rasayana, that is rejuvenative herbs. We talked about herbal formulations. Next is yoga and meditation also. Next is panchakarma, purificatory or detoxification therapies. So, today we are going to discuss the role of Garbha Samskara. So, what is Garbha Samskara? See, Garbha Samskara, as per Ayurveda, involves a comprehensive approach to prenatal care, focusing on physical, mental, spiritual well being of both the mother and the developing fetus. So, this practice, the Garbha Samskara, is one of the Shodasha Samskaras, that is 16 Samskaras mentioned. So, the Garbha Samskara aims to create a harmonious environment, for the fetus, promoting optimal development and laying the foundation for a healthy and emotionally intelligent child. So here, in how does Garbha Samskara again, influence epigenetics? See, Garbha Samskara and epigenetics are also is also interlinked. How? Because we can modulate the gene expression. How? By following, one is by following, the dietary guidelines mentioned as per Garbha Samskara according to Ayurveda. So eating a balanced diet, emphasizing, on a balanced diet rich in nutrients, including, fruits, vegetables, whole grains, legumes, proteins, as per their prakriti. This is also, the diet is also customized. Next is herbal preparation. So these are recommended specific herbs to nourish the mother and the fetus. Next is avoidance of harmful substances. So discourages the consumption of alcohol, tobacco, caffeine, and other harmful substances. So next is lifestyle modification. See, exercise. See, exercise means gentle exercises. Ayurveda promotes gentle exercises like some yoga asanas or specific designated prenatal yoga to improve blood circulation and flexibility. Walking is, recommended. Adequate rest. Next is adequate rest. So ensuring sufficient sleep to reduce stress and fatigue. Next is stress management. So it also recommends, Ayurveda also recommends relaxation techniques like meditation, deep breathing, chanting, mantra chanting to, alleviate, stress, to reduce stress. So the next is sensory stimulation in Garbha Samskara, music therapy. So exposure to soothing music and melodies to stimulate the auditory senses of the fetus to listen to good music. They tell. And storytelling, while reciting stories and poems to enhance cognitive development. We've heard of, Arjuna narrating, Chakravyuha to his wife, and his son hearing the entire sequence of that. So that means that whatever mother listens to, or reads or visualizes, everything impacts the growing fetus. Next is mental and emotional well being. So, in Ayurveda, it encourages positive thoughts and affirmations to create positive mental environment. Creating positive mental environment is also necessary. Next is the emotional balance. Most of the times, there is, because due to hormones, there could be emotional imbalance in the pregnancy, especially the first term in the first term. So practices like meditation, yoga to manage emotions and reduce stress. Again, reading books, listening to good music, listening to good stories, all this, reading good stories, reading the religious texts or scripts can also help in emotional balance. Next is spiritual practices. See, engaging in spiritual practices like prayer, chanting also promotes inner peace. So now the role of Garbha Samskara in epigenetics. That means, as I said, epigenetics is the study of how environmental factors can influence gene expression without altering the underlying DNA sequence. We are not altering the DNA here, it is only influencing gene expression. That means Garbha Samskara, by addressing various aspects of mother's lifestyle and environment, can potentially impact the epigenetic programming of the fetus. Next is one, as we talked about it, stress reduction can happen. Stress hormones can have adverse effects on fetal development. So by reducing stress, it is impacting in also in modulating. So next is, as we spoke about, the thing is the convergence of Ayurveda and Garbha Samskara with the emerging field of epigenetics. So this is a fascinating perspective in the prenatal care itself. So what happens, we can if Garbha Samskara is properly followed, we can prevent several fetal anomalies and neurodevelopmental disorders or genetic disorders for that matter can be prevented due to because of the epigenetics and epigenetics part of Garbha Samskara. See, Ayurveda's holistic approach, coupled with Garbha Samskara's emphasis on preconceptional and prenatal practices, align with the epigenetic concept of environmental factors influencing gene expression. So, by adopting these principles from the Ayurveda Garbha Samskara and Ayurveda, we will be able to optimize fetal development and potentially influence long term health outcomes. So, as we know, Ayurveda offers a holistic approach to health and well being. Its emphasis on diet, lifestyle, prevention of diseases, and mental health aligns with the emerging field of epigenetics. So, by understanding how practices like yoga, meditation, and specific dietary recommendations can modulate epigenetic markers, you know, we can harness the wisdom of Ayurveda to promote optimal health and prevent, disease. Ayurveda is the only science which talks about preventing the disease. So, swasthasya swasthya rakshanam. Next is the treatment aspect. Aturasya vikara prashamanam or aturasya vyadhi parimokshanam, that to cure or manage the illnesses. Next, one thing is, yes, there is a need of extensive further research that is which is needed to fully elucidate the intriguing epigenetic mechanisms and underlying Ayurvedic interventions. So we need future research is needed, and researches are going on. There are many papers being published. So then only we can but whatever it is, the potential for a synergistic approach between Ayurveda and epigenetics is undeniable. So for people who ask, Ayurveda is not scientifically validated, it is scientifically validated. We can validate it with like this. So here we end the session for today.